Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then we can put it like that. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Like a little nervous. Okay, hi. It's the Blessed Bonds podcast. This is Bella Gilly. I'm Rose Patton. And today we're going to be talking about God's plan for our life, like how God has a plan. Because sometimes we do question that. We're like, oh, does God have a plan? Like, what is going to happen in my life? So we're going to talk about that. And how we're going to kind of run through it is kind of like a Bible study and just kind of talk to you guys and just like run through it with you guys. So where do you want to start? What verse do you think?
Jeremiah 29:11.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We love Jeremiah 29:11. That just covers all things.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't have it pulled up. Okay, so do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Either way.
Here, I got stuck in it, didn't I?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay, I can read it. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not calamity, to give you a hope in the future. Is yours different or is yours the same?
Kind of the same, yeah. Yeah. So, okay. I really like this verse personally, just because just this past year, with everything that's like happened in my life, I feel like it has really been like a verse that I've
Felt.
yeah, and just like that stood out to me. And I don't know, it's definitely something that kind of like reminds me like I am not in charge of my future, and God's timetable is not our own. You know, like it's not something where I don't know, like oh I'm doing this and this and stuff like that. No, like God has a perfect plan for you and stuff, and He will get you on that path
Right.
if He needs to.
Right.
But I don't know. I really like this verse just because it just, I don't know, really has impacted me, especially when it comes to finding a college or friends or other things, you know?
Yeah. Like Bella and I both went through an injury this past like few months, and that was rough for me. I don't know how it was for you, but it was like I had 4 weeks off, and it was like some of the 4 hardest weeks of my life. And it was bad. I just spent nights like crying, or just nights like, God, what are you doing? This is not what I wanted. Like not at all what I was planning. And that was a hard part, especially because then I had to figure out, okay, I was idolizing something, and I need to really focus on God and what He has put in my life, because as humans, we really find things we're like, oh, this is what I want, or like stuff like that. And we just have to remember that God's plan is better. And sometimes we have to, I wrote something down, and I was like, sometimes you have to give God something to receive something. I sent you like a picture the other day, and it was like where Jesus was holding like a big teddy bear behind his back, and this little girl was holding her like little tiny teddy bear, and she was like, but God, I love it. And God was like, just trust me, I have something better for you. And so we can't always see, like just like the teddy bear, we can't always see what God had in plan, but we have to trust Him. And I think that knowing that God has a plan has a lot to do with trusting Him. And that's just really important to trust, because I wrote something down. I keep writing this down wherever like I have notes or stuff like that. It's like God gave you this life, so you can trust Him with it. Like He has this beautiful plan, and you might not always see it, because that's hard as humans. We don't always see what God has in plan for us. And I wrote down also, I was like, if you knew what God was planning for you, you would run the other direction. You'd be like, I don't want to miss this. I'm good. But once it all falls into place, it's beautiful, and you just have to trust during the process, I feel like.
And I like what you said about like how you idolize the sport and stuff. And that's a scary place to be, because like whether it be in relationships or sports for sure or anything like that, I know like in both I idolized that, and God had to get my attention by removing it. And that's the kind of like sad part about it is, you know, like if you put something before God, He may take it away.
Yeah.
Whether that be for a time with injuries and stuff, or just in general, just take it away to get your eyes back on Him. Because your main focus in life should be following God and being in His will.
Right. Yeah, it's a hard place to be, because when I saw a video, and it was like, well, if you're idolizing it, and if God takes it away, are you going to be okay? And I was like, whoa, I don't know. And then I was like, well, I really struggled, and like I hope no one has to struggle that. Like it was bad, but I was like, okay, God, you have to spend those times. Like at the first like week, I was doing great. I was like, I get rest. I'm having a great time. And the second week, I was like, ah. And then by like the third week, I was like, okay, God, this isn't my plan. This is not my plan at all. But you're gonna show me what the plan is for this. And that's a really cool place to be. Also at that point, when you're like, okay, God, there's a verse and it's like, send me. I don't know if it's but it's like, God send me, I'm here, send me. And that's really cool because that helped me in that point. I was like, well, God, this is not what I expected, so show me something else that I can do to help you because in that sport I must not have been helping you. And then now I see it as that I've been back at swim, I've been back into like doing all that. Okay, well, how am I going to put God into this?
Yeah.
And because I want people to look at me and know that I am a believer of Christ and I want to share God's word. Because you shouldn't have to tell people, like, I'm a Christian. Or then ask, hey, are you a Christian? They should see it. Like, that's something that I really, like, strive to do is where when people look at me or if they have, like, a long conversation with me, they know that I'm a Christian. Even if they're not a Christian and I talk about God, I want them to know. It's important to me.
Oh,
I just added that in.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Like, I know, like, people that when they walk in the room, it's like they're, like, lit up. Like, not actually, like, lit up, but, like, you know, like, they just, there's something different about them. And that's kind of how, like, I want, not kind of, that is how I want to be.
Right.
And stuff. And, I don't know, just, it is really hard when things don't go your way when it comes to your plan because you have everybody at some point has like a set thing where like I want to go to this college, I want to do this, blah blah blah, or I want to do this and this, PR and this and stuff for sports. But that's not always how it works.
No.
And I know like and not just with sports and other stuff. Like it could be something where you're just going through something like losing a family member or just I don't know, something like that. But there's this verse in Esther 4:14, and it's like Mordecai talking to Queen Esther, and he was, she's kind of in that position of like, why do I have to go through this? Like why am I doing, like why did God pick me for this? And it says, part of Esther 4:14 says, yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. And I think that is such a cool verse because
underlined and highlighted and all like kinds of stuff. Yes, that one, yeah.
And it's like, but it's such a powerful verse when you think about it because, like, like we're not over here get married to some random dude,
right?
Like, but we can still relate it to how, like, why do I have to go through all of this? Why do I have to go through this injury or losing this person or so on and so forth? But God uses everything for his good. Not saying that he purposely does bad things or anything, but he uses those bad things for good. And there is something, I put like, but God uses what the devil intends to hurt us for good and stuff. And it's like, and I think that is so awesome because like nothing that happens to us, like God does not waste anything. And that is something that we can find hope in because we know that through all of the craziness, like we know that God is going to use it for good and grow us through it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what Bible verse it was, but there was one where it was like, you intended it for harm, but God intended it for good. I think I have a lot of Bible verses, but I don't remember what they are. But that one was really special to me, and when it hit me, I was like, whoa. Yeah. God intended this for good, but I felt like I only saw it as something bad. So like as humans, we see a lot of bad things in our brains. Like, oh, it's so bad, it's so bad. It's not as bad as we see it. Like God, or like Jesus literally died on a cross. Like his had nails in his hands and nails in his feet, and we're complaining about like these little situations over here. But also going back to Esther, that verse was really cool. When I read it, he told me like I'm reading through Esther, and so I read through Esther. And I think that verse was really cool because I was just reading over it, and you might just miss verses sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think someone had mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I'll go back and read it again. That is a really, really special verse because it literally just tells you how this is what your life is like. You're just going through something, and it could be something really big. So that also leads me to talking about how like you need to take every opportunity you're given and use it for the best. So when I was going through my injury, I was like, well, God, what do I do? And I had wanted to write like my devotion book for a while, so I've been working on that during the injury because I was like, I'm like have hours on my hands now. And then the podcast, I was like, well, let's start a podcast. Why not? And so just all those things that kind of added up when I took my eyes off of one thing and put it back on God.
Yeah.
You see a lot more. It's like, it's sound weird, but it's like getting your eyes cleaned and you're like, I see now. This I was seeing this, but now I see something beautiful and bigger and better. And it won't always look better in that time, but when you look out, it's gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think you are like spot on with that.
My phone was silent. I don't know who's texting my brother. Sorry, I forgot to do that.
There's what did I say?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
You were talking about how, like, you have to take your eyes off something to see God better.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, but like you are like right on about that because like I didn't realize that like I was still in the Word and I was still like having that time with God, but I said it. I can't explain this.
Okay, hold on. I had to think about an idea. So you were like, okay, sorry. But like how I had it was I would schedule it. Like, okay, well, I have 30 minutes this morning and then I'll do like 40 minutes tonight. And that was not getting me what I needed from like a relationship with God. I was putting it in my planner, which is great, putting a lot. But I was like, okay, this is the time I'm spending with God. I'm spending it with God. I'm just flipping through some random pages and reading. Or like, oh, I want to read through Esther today. I'm just going to read it. That is not, okay, so that's great. But also I wasn't getting what God, is it in my hair again? Oh, I was like, I'm not getting what God is showing me. So sometimes taking things verse by verse and not like sitting down and having like a certain time. Maybe you only sit down for 5 minutes, but it's that important 5 minutes. It's like that quality time. Like when we have a conversation, even if I call you for like 5 minutes and just talk to you, Bella, this is instead of being like, Bella, okay, so yeah, I guess today was fine. I don't know. Like just talking to you.
But just being like dull.
Right, and just spending time. So I just like sat there with you, pretend like I was just sitting there on my phone for 20 minutes. I'd rather have 5 minutes of talking to you than just sitting with you. So that's kind of how I see it with God in my relationship is I would rather have like a little bit of time where I really dig into the Word and like write notes and all this stuff than sit there and just like read, oh, well, that's cute. He died. Okay. New king, that's cool. She got married to some random dude. Like, my brain sometimes just like reads through random things. I'm like, no, what is this meaning? So that's what like rereading through Esther was really cool because you might miss things when you're just flying through things. So that's, I don't know if that's where you were going with that. But that's what I just added.
No, exactly. Like it's something where like I don't want God to be like second priority. And this past year, I felt like I don't know, or I guess mainly last year now.
I know.
Oh, whoa. But so I guess last year, it was more of a thing where I was putting other people before God.
Yes, I feel that.
I let that go to where like I let them get so high up on like a pedestal that I didn't realize all the things that I was doing wrong. Like when it comes to just like putting God on the back burner, and you do not want to do that.
Right.
And I could tell like looking back at it, I can tell there was like a huge difference because from then to where I am now, just because like I was so anxious. And it was because I wasn't prioritizing God and I wasn't in the Word and getting stuff out of that. Like I was anxious on worldly things. And then I got into the Word a lot more, and not just my, oh yeah, I'll get into it for like,
It's still buzzed. How does that even happen? It's on. Can I just throw you out of here? I'm just gonna put it on the ground so it doesn't buzz on me. I don't know why I brought it in here. I was gonna pull up some things, but now it's buzzing at me.
Oh, you're good. But yeah, it's just like something where, I don't know, it's so important to put God first and stuff like that, and in everything you do. And there's a Bible verse, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. And then like one other one where it's like, in all you do it all for the glory of God. And that's really important because like, if you have God on the back burner, you are not putting God first, and you are not doing everything for His glory and stuff. And so it's really important to just keep your eyes fixed on God and stuff like that.
And when we went to that camp thing, it was like that one where it was like seek first the kingdom of God, or like seek first. That is really cool because if you seek first, then you will see like so much different things. I don't know if that totally makes sense, but like I think it's just important to remember that, and then also adding it into our title, like how God has a plan. So if you seek Him and you follow Him, He will show you your plan. He will not always, like, I really never show you your full plan. He'll show you little bits and pieces and like little things that come into your life. Whoa, that's so cool. And then there'll be times where you're like, I don't know, God. And then asking God sometimes why is really hard. I think that goes into like our topic of, I definitely asked God why during my injury and during just tough times in my life. Like, why are you doing this, God? But just trusting Him and knowing that He has a plan is so important. Like in Job, how Satan just like threw all this stuff at Job, and God was like, no, trust me, he's going to be okay. And Job just kept worshiping God. Like right in the beginning, he was like, Satan killed all of like Job's everything. Like everything was gone. Destroyed his family, destroyed his like belongings, everything. And Job still praised God. And that was really a big point for me when I was going through a lot of things. I was like, well, I don't know why this is happening, God. This is making me mad. This is all that's happening. And then God was like, think about the things that you're grateful for. Like that just kind of hit me where I was like, well, what am I grateful for? There was so much. And that was insane to think about, like, well, I'm actually grateful for a lot of things. And the people that stuck with me, like Bella was like there for like all of it. And I was just like, Bella, I don't know what's going on here. And I would just like send her random messages, and she's like, and she's like, God has a plan. I think a lot of our messages, if I was like, Bella, I don't know why this is happening, she's like, God has a plan. It's not gonna be okay. And I'm like, I don't like it. And she's like, no, it's okay. I think it's important just to know that God has a plan. I know that that's like an easy thing for me to say, like, well, God has a plan. It's not gonna be okay. And when you're in those hard nights and you're just like crying, and you're like, God doesn't have a plan. It's important to just keep reminding yourself, because the enemy will try to get you down. That is such a fact. There's a Bible verse in here. It's like, do not give the devil an opportunity. That one is big, because when you give him, I think you like showed it to me one time, when you give him an opportunity, he will tear you down. So you just have to also keeping God at that high pedestal, or like keeping God on that like first part in your life, because if you don't, then the devil will come up and steal you. Okay, he will take away all the things in your life that are important, and you just have to remember to praise God through all those things. But just stay strong and firm in like your relationship with God, because He's always gonna like be there for you. God will always be there for you. Satan will give you these little things that will make you happy for a second, and then he'll tear you apart. And that is such a true fact. Like, especially with like temptation and all that. We're gonna do another one on that, I think. But because he will tempt you with something, and if you take it, you will like have this second of satisfaction. What's the word?
Satisfaction?
Yeah. I was like, I don't even know. You'll be like satisfied for a second, and then it'll all go away, and you will just see all these bad things in your life, and you will like miss the good of God, because He has so many good things. There's a song I was listening to the other day. I'm just rambling. There's a song I was listening to the other day, and it was like, if it's not good, then it is not over. And that was big. And there's another song. It's called Counting My Blessings, and that one was, I was listening to it, and it was during my injury, and I just remember I like broke down in tears, because it was like talking about all the things that you should be grateful for, and like how I couldn't count my blessings. Like I would have to count forever, because there are so many things I'm blessed for, and I was like, or like thankful for. And that like took me into tears, because I was like, well, God, I'm worrying about this one thing that happened wrong, when I should be looking at all the things that you did that were right. And so that was really big. So I just like rambled for a whole like 5 minutes.
No, I liked everything you said. And two of the things that stood out to me, one of them was you mentioned how you were like super worried about it all and stuff. And I think about because I worry about everything.
Oh, me too.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But like lately it's gotten to the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, this is stressful. I'm terrified, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, no. Like this is not okay. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it to God, put it at His feet, because what is worrying gonna do? You know, it's not gonna change anything.
No, it's gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
It's in your body.
In your
mind.
Like, tweaking.
Sorry. Yes, I know what you mean, but yeah.
But the Bible verse, my contacts are messed up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The Bible verse, I'm trying to like blink it away. That I was thinking of when you were talking about worry is where is it? Ooh, okay. It's Matthew 6:25, and then it kind of goes on. But it goes, therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. It is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing. Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more value than them? They? Oh my goodness.
No, reading the Bible is always hard. There's only some words that we don't say nowadays.
Like,
okay, Andrew.
my eyes are tweaking.
Okay, you're doing great.
And then it says, which of you, by worrying, can add a cubit to... Ooh, my goodness. Can add 1 cubit to his stature. And then, so I think that's like huge, because like, it's kind of like a, hey, stop worrying.
Like, wait, what verse is this for?
Matthew 6:25, and then it just like keeps going.
Oh, yeah. They had me read this the other day in church. It was terrifying. I was shaking. I was like, ooh. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, go.
I need to like take these out. Sorry.
Like reading in church, it's terrifying. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
And they always like, do you want to read? No, I don't. I'm good. 6:25? 25:6.
Oh, it's like, yeah, 6:25. Sorry. Ah, I'm dying a little bit.
No, but so there is no 6:25.
Matthew 6:25.
6:24. Oh. I know that was a new chapter. Never mind, there is. My bad. No, mine. What? But no, it's really cool because sometimes I think some of the versions say like, oh, I like this one, 34. It says, so do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will care for itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I worry about like tomorrow all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a swim meet this weekend. I'm gonna stress, and it's only Monday, and the swim meet's on Saturday. And I'm gonna stress the whole week about it, and guess what? That's not helping me at all. That's not making, sorry, it's making me mad. It keeps rolling.
I know. I don't know.
To roll off is oh, okay. I'm not gonna move. But no, so that's really important to just remember not to worry, and then God has a plan, because when we worry, there was one that talked about how like it doesn't add a day to your life.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do anything to help you. So
Yeah.
Why are you worrying? I was talking to a friend about it the other day. I was like, I worry about things a lot, but it doesn't help me at all to worry. And just take a deep breath when you start to worry, and remember that like God has a plan. You have so many people around you that absolutely love you, and if you just take a deep breath and think, oh, all the good things that are happening in life. I know, I'm sorry. I don't know why they do that. They're so cute, but then they attach to your hair.
No, I get
But yeah, just remembering like not to worry. Sorry, I just took that from you.
No, exactly. I think it's so important, because it's like, I don't know. For me, whenever I start worrying and stuff, I either just start praying, and then if I can, I'll just like get into like the word and stuff like that, and just like read over those verses. I'm so sorry. But and it helps a lot, and it helps me
It
like
really
calm
does.
down and stuff, and then I just feel like at peace. It's a different type of peace when you have a relationship with God.
Yeah,
And
for
stuff.
sure.
And because like there's a Bible verse, I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like it's a peace that's like that surpasses all understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
it's
know that one. I don't remember that.
I don't know the
I know.
reference, but
Yeah, it's so true.
it's like such a powerful thing because it's like it's different than what anybody else could offer and stuff. And when I was going through that time of anxiety and stuff, nobody, I mean, nobody, they would be like, oh, it's okay, blah, 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 and like trying to help. But like the only way that I could find help and peace and comfort in was God.
That's like the truth, absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's really cool. There was also, not to like change the subject because I really liked where this is going.
Yeah.
But
you can just add on.
Yeah. You also said earlier, you said, do not give the devil. Ooh, devil?
Yeah.
It's a devil. Anyways, do not give the devil an opportunity and stuff. And you were talking about all that. James 4:7 says, therefore, submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. And stuff. And I think that's like that was, I guess, 7 and 8. But
yeah.
Same, yeah. You get the point. But it's just such a cool verse because like he has to flee. Like he cannot stick around. Like
when God gets so big,
when
God gets so big in your life, the devil won't have room. So like if God like fills in your whole life, then like the devil can't get in. But when God starts to slip away, well, the devil can start to slip in. So yeah, just really focusing on God and putting Him through like your whole life, and no matter what you do. But yeah, with my friends, like when someone gets anxious or like worrying about something or worrying what people think about them or any of those things, I feel like first time I tell them is like, even if they're not believers or not Christians or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, God has a plan. And that's just really funny to sometimes see their face. Oh, wait, what are you talking about? And I'm just like, God has a plan. I know you can't see it right now, and I know it's scary, but just trusting Him is really important. It helps people, even when they're not believers, just to know that there's a little hope out there. And I think as humans, we worry about all kinds of random stuff. There's all kinds of things we worry about, like finances, like job, college, all that, like random stuff that we see as like the biggest thing of our lives. No, it's okay.
Call me out there.
Sorry. No, I remember when you were choosing college. I'm like, oh, no, Bella. I was like, are you okay? It's just like, I don't know.
So it's not just a one-way thing.
Right.
She may send stuff like that too, but I definitely said, like, I don't know what to do.
So yeah, it's definitely, I like that. You have good friendships that you can like, even though we don't hang out every day, I'll just text Bella randomly and be like, hey, can you pray for me? I'm going through this. Or, hey, this is happening. I actually do text you a lot. Like, hey, can you pray for this? And then sometimes I feel bad. Like, oh no, that's just bombarded her with all my issues. But I think that sometimes it's good to talk to God first, but also tell someone else about what's going on in your life. That's really important to me. I think I've had to really focus on that because I had some bad friendships, and if you get it right in that corner, it doesn't. But I've had some bad friendships that did not end with like it didn't help with God. Like God was not there. We were talking about it earlier. Like if they don't help you bring you closer to God, then
they're pulling you away.
Right, and that's like a really hard place to be. Is like, okay, choosing your friends. I know that's not like okay, well this friend's not gonna make it to my list, but get out of here. So like the fact that you have friends that you have to not cut out of your life, but distance a little bit from, because you still need to be their light in their life, because you might be the only Jesus they see, like the only like bit of like Jesus, like the only bit of God and love that they see in their lives. You also cannot give them all of your love for them to just drain you. And that's a hard place because the Bible talks about like treat others like more than yourself and like equal to you, and that's hard because then you're like, well, am I not treating them this? And how I thought about it, I don't know if this is totally right, but how I thought about it is like, love them, absolutely love the people that do wrong to you, but you do not have to hang out with them all the time or give them all of who you are, because God has other people that He has put in your life for the fact that you guys can like talk. Because I just text you random times and hey, I was like, oh, we do, like all this stuff, and it's just special. I just want to random rant.
Anyways, yeah, no, I completely agree and stuff like that. And Oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought randomly. Whoa,
That happens to me all the time. Like,
I was like, wait, where'd you go? No, oh my goodness. Relationships, friends, and distancing. Okay, got it. No, because like whenever I'm like trying to, whenever I feel like I need to distance myself from people, it is very hard, but it's also important to realize, as said before, if you're not impacting them, they're probably impacting you. And something,
yeah, I never really thought about that. Yeah.
And something our youth pastor said was, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future."
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, but it's so true because like if you hang around certain people, they're either gonna start acting like you, but it's more likely that you're gonna start acting like them.
Yes, I was trying to bring up this yesterday, and they were like, I really watch who I hang out with because you don't turn out like them, and if you see them and you're like, well, I don't want to hang out with them, I don't want to turn out like them, but I do like them, I enjoy hanging out with them, they're super fun, but I never want to be like them. Well, guess what? It's not how that works. You can still love them and all that, but they are going to influence you.
Yeah, and so you have to really be careful because you also want to be a witness, but you don't want to be in that spot.
A witness, like the other way.
Yeah.
Like people witness you in a bad way, not like you want to witness them. Like you change the whole path of your life based on who you hang out with. It really does.
And I know when it comes to relationships and stuff, there were a couple that I've gone through where like whether it be friends or anything really, where I'd be like, okay, I know I need to either end this or just distance myself, but it's like, I don't know, it's like it's really hard because you love your friends and you love these people, but you also know, okay, I know that this is not right. I know that I should not be in this position of feeling like anxious due to like not being as close to God because I let those people impact me in a way that
isn't godly.
Isn't godly. Yeah, and it's like, and sometimes you don't even realize it. It's just like your mindset almost changes. And then maybe it's like, this might be weird to some people, but maybe your music taste starts to change. Like from like the Christian music to like this other stuff, and then it's just like, and it starts off with something small like music, and then it just escalates.
Right, like what you say, how you act, like even who you like then hang out with, like your friends, then you're just digging yourself into like a deeper mess. But yeah, I remember I had a friend who I really needed to distance myself from, and I remember writing something. Like I grabbed a piece of paper and I started writing. Because sometimes I write to and I write to God. Sometimes it's really hard for me to talk to God when I'm like mad or upset about something, so I just write down something. I don't know. It's really weird, but whatever. And I wrote I was like, God, I love this person, but I cannot let them influence me anymore because they are tearing me away from you, and I need to be close to you. But God, I don't want to be far away from them because I don't want them to like get worse in what they're doing, but I also don't want myself to get into what they're doing. And so I was like, so God, they're taking me away from you and they're not following you the way I want to follow you. So, because they were the person who said they were Christian, but they actually weren't showing Christian attributes. And I was like, God, do what you need to do with this relationship. I trust you. I know you have a plan, and I'm just going to be there for them, but I'm not going to give them all I am.
And that's very important. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. But, oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm blinking right now. There's also this verse, or not verse, it's not a verse, but it's like, just like something my pastor said. And it was like, love is something every Christian should be able to show due to the understanding of Christ's love for us. And I think that's so important because it's like, you might not like that person. You might not want to talk to that person or like talk to God about that person, stuff like that. But the thing is, we are called to love everybody. And Something that kind of stepped on my toes was like my mom had talked to me and stuff, and she was like, and I was like ranting about a situation, and she was like, "Well, have you prayed about it?" And I was like, "But I don't want to. I don't know. I don't really want to pray for them and stuff," which is horrible, horrible.
Right, yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah, I think every person like we get what you mean. Like,
but
I
like,
want to pray for them.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna sit here and not do it. But like the thing is, like, it's the best thing you can do for somebody. And once you come to that realization, it's just so relieving in a way. And yeah, and it's like something is lifted off of your shoulders and stuff. And it's like just praying that God will work through them and change them and stuff and to help you love them in a way that shows Christ.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember I gave you a piece of paper one time, and it was I can't talk. And it said something about how like treat them the way God sees them, not the way like you. I don't remember totally what it said, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, I don't know. It said something about how like treating them the way God treats them, not the way you want to treat them.
Yeah, or how the world would treat them.
Right, it was something about, because we all have people in our lives that we're like, not going to happen today. And it's just about like how God, I just see it as like God wants you to pray for them, because there's times in your life that you need a prayer and you're being a bad person and you really hope that someone's praying for you because you're not doing well. I think it's important to have friends though that will also tell you, like, hey, not going so well. I've definitely had friends who were like, no, you're not doing well here. You need to like fix some things. And they didn't say it like that, but they were bros, fix it. But just the fact that we have people in our lives who will protect you and keep you in that area. I feel like our youth pastor is amazing with all of that. Like he would take care of you and like take a bullet for you. But yeah. That's just really special. We go to the same youth, so that's when we say our like youth pastors. We go to the same youth.
Oh yes.
Hold on, I want to pull out Ephesians 2:10. I have no idea what this is. I made these. Okay, I do have no idea what it is, but like I made this for something I was working on another time, and I just added it in here. Okay. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God has prepared beforehand so that we would walk in them. That's really cool. It kind of shows like how we are created and God wants us to like walk in this path, and we won't always see the path, but we know that it's there. When I was trying to choose like what I wanted to, because I think I'm 14, and as like a teenager, you're trying to figure out like what do I want to do when I'm older, because everybody like literally asks like, what do you want to do when you're older? It's kind of like rude, but whatever. I don't know. I'm still a child. But no, whenever people like ask me what do you want to do when you're older, I really have to like think about it. And it was our youth pastor, he said this, and this changed my whole like singing idea on our life. I don't think I've told him thank you, but like my life changed when he said this. He said something about I really wanted to be like something of the doctor, or something. This is not what you're doing something. So don't take this the wrong way. It's going to be a little like, okay, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but this was just how I saw it with my life, and Bella might not even have heard it. So like the things is like I can't even talk. But it was talking about how like a doctor can postpone your life and help it like go longer, but only God can save your life. And at that moment, I was like, Bella can change people's lives in the hospital, whatever you're doing with your life in your like medical area, but I can change people's lives by preaching and like sharing God's word and making podcasts and writing books and stuff like that. And that was just really something that hit me really hard, that as a doctor I wouldn't be able to maybe share as much as I could save people's lives. I could help actually save people's lives in a way that I might not be able to do in that field of life. And so that really changed my mindset. Nothing against doctors or anybody, because you guys are helping people last longer so that they can come back, give them a second chance. And so I think it's just cool how we all have little things in our lives and like our missions and our purposes, and our job helps us with our purpose. It either helps us or doesn't, yeah. But I feel like it's really important to remember that you are more than just like those things. that you have been created for purpose than just what you see. And going back to Esther, every time like I walk into swim or I walk into like a place, I really think to myself, okay, how am I going to make this for God's glory? Not mine. It's not about me. Not at all. How am I going to make this for God's glory? And there was a verse, I don't really remember what it was, but I write it on my foot all the time. It sounds really weird. But like when I swim, I like look down at my feet. That's why I have bruises all over my legs, by the way. I'm not like abused. I just hit my legs. I just like hit my legs when I get out of the water, so I just let my foot here. But when what was I talking about? Okay, when I go to swim, I like think about this, and when I put it on my foot, it says like the actual Bible verse is talking about how God will be the glory in my midst, and how you will like to bring a fire around me. So like it helps me in a few different ways. Like he'll be the ring of fire around me. I do not need to be anxious because God is protecting me, and then I'll be the glory in her midst. Talks about kind of how like God's the glory. We're doing it for God. It's not about me. I'm not doing this for me. If I make no money but I help other people, that's absolutely totally fine with me. I'm doing it for the fact that I want to share God's word and I want to make Him known and not myself. If I'm never known, that's absolutely fine with me as long as God is known. I want to leave this earth knowing that someone was brought closer to God. Something that I said helped them. And knowing not that, they know me, they all know me, but they have no idea who God is from me. So that was just really important to me. I don't know if I just ranted for a second, but yeah.
No, I agree. It's definitely like when it comes to God's will and stuff, it's I feel like everybody, like everybody has a different calling in their life, but it all relates back to one huge purpose, and that's to share the gospel with others and stuff. And something that kind of like helped me realize, like when it comes to, I don't know, where I wanted to go to school, what field I wanted to go into, all this other stuff, I got to shadow some of the hospital places and stuff. And something that I love to do every single day or every day I would go in, is to pray over the rooms before everybody got there. And I think that is something, that is like such a great, like, I don't know, I'm gonna here you go. Something that like just, I don't know, it gave me some type of peace in knowing that like God is there and He is with me through this and stuff, no matter what weird things I see or have to do that day.
Right. Medical fields are rough, guys. I don't know how you guys see that.
Start tweaking. But no, in everything that you do, like it is important to honor God and glorify God. And I don't know, there have been a couple situations that I have been in to where in that like field and stuff like that, I got to like talk to people and like about certain situations they were in, and just being that light and showing them that like, hey, things get better, God's got you, it's very important. And I feel like, I don't know, it's good to have that, like, that person to lean on and stuff. But yeah, what was I gonna say? There was something you said earlier. I can't even remember what it was.
I said a lot, dude. No, I don't even remember.
But something. Oh, it was talking about like God's plan and how it's important to be in God's will and stuff or something. And my pastor said this the other day. Where is it? You need to be in full agreement with Christ. This means fully devoting yourself to God. You need to be in agreement with God and stuff. And he really emphasized that. And like the reason he did that was because like you are over here saying like, oh, I want what God has for me, or I want to follow like what His will is for me and stuff. And then you're over here like, well, I don't know what that is. Why don't I know what that is and stuff? And But like, you're not gonna know what that is unless you have that relationship with Christ. It's not a religion where you go 3 times a week or 2 times a week. Three? What? Oh, I guess only not. Anyways, not the point. Well, not the point. Anyways, but like it's not that. Like we're not 3-hour Christians. Like we're supposed to have a relationship outside the church. Like church is great for fellowship and just digging in and stuff. But you should be digging in separately and stuff on your own and having that quiet time just with you and God. Cause there's like a verse. Sorry, I'm like.
No, dude, I was sitting over there for like 10 minutes. Okay, you again.
But it says, where is it? It says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. And I think that is huge. That's Galatians 2:20. And that's such a big verse because it's like, okay, if I'm going to be over here like, okay, what am I doing with my life? I don't know what I'm gonna do, like I'm stressed, blah blah blah. But you haven't actually asked God to show you his will.
Yeah.
Like that's not how that works. Like you have to be in agreement with God. And it is very important. And the way you do that is getting in the word and praying and asking God to show you like, hey, like this is where I want you. And like Rose said earlier on, that's not going to be like, here's your whole life in advance. Here's where you're going to go to college. Here's where you're going to work. Here's the person you're going to marry. Here's the kids you're going to have. Like it's not going to be like that.
Right.
But like he gives you just what you need to know when you need to know it and stuff. And again, God's timetable is not our own. And
that is really powerful to think about that part. Like God's timing is so different. There was one. Okay, this one I don't know. I just came across it the other day with one. I don't remember what it was now. But I think it's like Hebrew or something. But okay, I'm just gonna talk about it for a second. It was like, and if these things we should do if God permits or something. I definitely talked about this one. It's really big in my life. Hold on, I'm gonna search for a second. But I should have had it written down. But it was okay here. Hebrews 6:3, and it said, and this we will do if God permits. Okay, so to me, I was like, okay, this we will do if God permits. Cool, okay, next verse. But then I had to go back and I was like, if God permits. Like, you will not be able to do anything if God doesn't permit it. And God will show you your path. He will make your path straight, but you have to trust him.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I can say that, and actually, I mean it. Like, you have to trust him. That's hard. Like, I understand how hard that is to trust God. Because as humans, we don't really trust very easily. Like, it's hard for us to trust sometimes because someone has hurt us or something like that. But trusting God is so different than trusting a human. Because God will never leave you and he will always love you and be there for you. And sometimes that's a hard part to kind of look at, but like how it said, like if he permits. So we won't do anything if God doesn't permit it, and just trusting that God has a plan even through the struggles. Because the struggle was there to make you stronger for what's happening next. And when you were talking earlier about, what were you talking about? I don't know, it was something with, I lost it. It was about how God, like, it was good, too. No, I don't know what it was. But, yeah, it was good. Whatever you said was great. I don't know what to talk about that.
I felt that. No, yeah, but as you were saying, like, God knows you, and He's there, and His will is perfect for you and stuff, and He knew your like what He wanted for you since the very beginning. Like, and there's a verse, Psalms 139:13 through 16. Yes, and it says, for you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully, I can't say that word, wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Anyways, Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there was none of them. And it's like,
so good.
it's so powerful just knowing, wow, like God knew like every little thing I was gonna do. The dumb things, like looking up how to make grilled cheese, to the big important things in my life, you know, and he knew every single thing. So why would we not trust him with that? You know, like why?
Right, it says right there, like he
Yeah.
knew when you were being created. Like some people don't even know, like people don't know you're always being created. Like you, when you're a baby, you can't always tell, but God was like, I know what I have for you.
Yeah.
And when you're born, like your parents are like, oh, it's like this sweet little baby, but God's like, that's my masterpiece. That is something that I created. That is someone who's going to change the world. And I think that's really important to remember, that when God created you, I think I've said this to you before, I was like, God knew what he wanted for you when you took your first breath. You took your first breath and God was like, yep, this is going to happen. God, like she's going to change the world and she's going to become something, or he, but if I had something I wanted to mention, that kind of went with this, it was like God sent you to this earth for a reason. So do what God sent you to do. If you wake up and you are still alive, you still like have a purpose. And you haven't, like, not that you haven't completed your purpose, but like you still have a purpose, and you really need to just show like your purpose. And there's something about how, like, I know the world will hate you, and I think that that's really a big verse about how like the world will hate you. There's no way around that, because the enemy wants you to be sad and wants you to be broken because he can attack you easier. But if you trust that God has a plan, and you just keep saying, like, telling people about his word, telling about like how amazing he is, your life will be changed, and God will show you that there's more to life than just the things that the devil can give you. I don't know, that was just like something random that I just thought of.
Yeah, no, and it's important to remember that, like, I think it's important to, like, just remember that, like, God is there, and he's never going to leave it and stuff like that, and, like, he wants the best for you in life and stuff, and that's so important, because it's like, Madison, oh my goodness.
It's okay.
You gonna cut it out?
I can either cut it out, or I'm probably gonna have a long podcast. You're okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Anyways, someone I know said, when I was really little, he was like, it was like my first year in youth group, and he was like, those nails did not keep God or Jesus on the cross. His love for you did. And it was like, ooh, okay, like, whoa.
Just things you remember.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, whoa, wait, why did that come up? But like, it was like, it's so powerful, because it's like, I mean, if Jesus wanted to, he could have just been like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not doing this for you guys. Yeah. You know, but the fact that he loved us that much and stuff, and like, he wants that relationship with us. And I think that's what's like I don't know, it's so amazing, because we don't deserve that.
No, absolutely not.
At all. Like, and I don't know where I would be without him. Like, if I'm being completely honest.
No, it'd be bad. Yeah. Both of us, we'd be done.
Yeah, exactly. But he has made a way and stuff like that, and he has, like, just he's made a way for us just because he loves us that much. And I think that's really important to understand, is that, like, he did not have to do that.
No, absolutely not.
And stuff like that, and yet he did. And he took time out of his day to, like, to know every little thing about us, the number of hairs on our head, and to know what we're going to do every single day and stuff like that. Like, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're talking about how, like, he didn't have to die on the cross for us. And the fact that he knew that we would still sin and we would still turn away from him and be like, sorry, we don't want what you're selling. The fact that he knew that, but he still died for us, is amazing. And that just shows how much he loves you, because he didn't have to die. Like how you said, he did not have to. He could have been like, I'm out, bro. I'm good. You don't deserve it. But he was like, no, I love them enough. And that's something that humanly, like, our human as a human, we don't think about that. Like, loving someone, like, I'm like, oh, okay, I love you, Bella. But we can never feel the love that God has for us. Like God has towards us, and how much he actually loves us. We'll feel his love, but we never will actually know, like, how much he truly loves us. Because, like, I love you, but I won't be like, how much love that God has, because we have like friendship, love, and all that stuff. Love has so many different like meanings. It's kind of crazy, but the love that God has is so cool and so beautiful, that he died on a cross for us sinners, us like bad people. No, like honestly, but like all that, he died for you, and he did not have to, but he did because he loves you. And that's really powerful.
And the fact that, like, through all of that and stuff, and through all of the torture, like, he didn't even look like a human being when he was done with, like, when he died. That's how badly he was tortured and stuff. And the fact that, like, he was, like, while everybody was torturing him and being awful to him and stuff, the one thing he said was, forgive them, God, for they do not know what they are doing.
That's amazing.
He thought of us, even though he was in that much pain. He could have just booted us and went on with his life.
Yeah, and he like could have killed like all those people that were like doing those things to him, like they were spitting his face, doing all those things, beating him. He still loved them, and he was still hanging up there. They were hurting him, and he was still doing it for them. That's crazy to think about, because when someone like hurts us, we're like mad. But God was like, no, or Jesus was like, no, I got this. I love them so much that I'm gonna like be here on this cross, hanging on this cross, knowing that they are hurting me, but I am still gonna die because I love them. That's a like beautiful thing that God and like Jesus has for us. That's amazing, beautiful, kind of crazy. Yeah, it's special.
The fact that he loves us and stuff so much that he would go to all that just to be with us is amazing.
Just to show us. I think that's a really cool part to like look at in the Bible. It just shows that God loves you, and that he loves you so much that he wouldn't give up on you, that he hung on that cross. He's not leaving you now. That's really important. I've had some nights where I'm like, I don't know, is he like even like me anymore? Is he like there for me? No, he literally hung on a cross. He loves me. But that's just a hard part where you go through. But I think that's just special, magical in some way. Yeah. That's really what I have for this. I don't know. Do you have any more verses you want to pull out before?
I don't think so.
I think we've been on here a while. I don't remember what time we started.
I don't know why.
I broke my Apple Watch. Did you see that? I shattered it. So. Be careful with your Apple Watches. They're precious. But yeah, that's really all I have. Wait, why is yours so much bigger?
It's the notes, though. Like, like you can write stuff in it.
Yeah. She has like a note Bible. I have just like, mine's a Pew edition. It says that on the side.
Notes on the side.
Large print Pew edition. I don't know why I got the Pew edition, but I do something really cool. This is kind of cool. I just want to say this. I highlight everything, and then I like underline and make notes of what's special. So like here we're in Galatians. I just picked a random place. But I have like all of this highlighted, and then I underline like what I felt was special about that. And so then when I look back, I'm just really happy to see everything highlighted. And then I know when I read the whole Bible, because it'll all be like colorful. And that just makes me happy. But yeah, that's really all we have. So thank you for watching. You for watches. Let's see. No. We love you all. I forgot how to shut it off. They didn't tell me how to shut it off. They just told me how to turn it on. Oh wait, how do you do that? We're gonna have to edit it. Okay. Love you all.